Hinduism Overview. What should we know about Hinduism at the outset? This lecture offers an overview of Hinduism, and it begins with a question that could lead some of us to take a second look. Is Hinduism a religion? Hinduism is the name given to a family of religious practices with roots in ancient Vedic religion. Some Hindu practitioners see Hinduism more as a whole way of life than a religion per se. Sometimes they use the phrase Sanatana Dharma, or eternal law, to name what guides their way of life. The word Hinduism emerges when much of India is ruled by the Mughal Empire, and it serves as a sort of catch-all term for the religious practices in the region that are neither Islamic, nor Buddhist, nor Jain. During the 19th century under British rule, scholars of South Asian culture describe Hinduism as one of the world's religions. And as Indian nationalism emerges, its proponents also embrace the name. Where is Hinduism prominent? As of 2010, Hinduism has about 1.03 billion adherents in the world. At 15% of the global population, Hinduism is the third largest religion in the world and the largest religious group in Asia. If demographic trends continue, however, Islam is projected to become the largest religious group in Asia by 2050. 94% of the world's Hindu people live in India. Hinduism is in majority in two countries, India, 80%, and Nepal, 81%. Hinduism is also prominent in Bangladesh, Indonesia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Malaysia. In the United States, as of 2015, we have about 4.8 million Hindu people, about 0.6% of the population. How much diversity do we find among Hindu practices? Hinduism, as we mentioned, names a family of religious practices. In addition, Hinduism has a decentralized religious authority. Hinduism has no single official leader, no centralized governing body. Religious authority rests instead with each practitioner. We find a plurality of Hindu institutions, practices, sacred texts, philosophies, and deities. Some Hindu deities also have multiple incarnations or avatars. At the same time, we find a great deal of tolerance for the varieties of Hindu religious practice. The Rig Veda, one of the ancient scriptures of Hinduism, sets a course for this plurality of practices when it says, God is one, but the wise call God by many names. Truth is one, but the wise call truth by many names. Some of the deities and practices of Hindu religion tend to be specific to a village, region, or country. What are the most prevalent religious institutions of Hinduism? While there's a great deal of variety in Hindu practice, and a great deal of respect for this variety, there are three elements widely honored among Hindu people. The Vedas are regarded as scripture. The word Om, written in Sanskrit, serves as a symbol for Hindu religion. And most Hindu people honor the city of Varanasi as a spiritual center. Most Hindu people accept the authority of the Vedas, the oldest of Hinduism's scriptures. We find in Hindu religion two levels of scriptural authority. The most authoritative scriptures are called Shruti, or that which is heard. There are four Vedas. The Rig Veda includes the oldest writings of Hindu religion, dating to about 1200 BCE. These emerge first as priestly literature for the ancient Vedic religion, which focuses on fire sacrifice. The most recent addition to these Vedic texts are called the Upanishads. They were written between 600 and 300 BCE. They differ from the older Vedic texts because they have a more philosophical approach to religion. Some Vedic texts are recited as a component of contemporary Hindu ritual, and many Hindu adherents describe the sound of these texts being recited as personally meaningful. The word Om is sometimes described as the sacred sound. It is used today in Hinduism and Tibetan Buddhism as a mantra that starts and finishes recitations. The origins of the word, however, are not entirely clear. In some ways, the word functions as an affirmation. The three-letter phonetic spelling of the word aum is said to symbolize the three stages of creation. The Sanskrit spelling of the word could symbolize Brahman, a Hindu concept that names a supreme universal spirit present throughout the cosmos and within each person's soul. We find a range of other descriptions of the word in the Vedas. Most Hindu people today see Varanasi as a religious center. Varanasi is a city located in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh on the north bank of the Ganges River. When people go on pilgrimage to the Ganges, they often go to Varanasi. The city is known for the large steps down the steep banks to the river called ghats. Some ghats are reserved for bathing in the Ganges, and others are used for cremation ceremonies. There is a prominent temple to Shiva in Varanasi. Lord Shiva is the god of destruction and new beginnings. It is sometimes said that a person who dies in Varanasi will be released from samsara. What characterizes Hindu material culture? Hindu material culture engages the senses. Hindu practice produces visually stunning artwork, brightly colored garlands, fabric, and murtis, physical representations of a deity. Hindu practice includes ringing bells, hearing recitations, smelling incense, feeling warmth from fire, singing hymns, and tasting food prepared for devotees. Many Hindu scriptures tell stories of love, adventure, battle, and loss, and have served as an inspiration for musicians, visual artists, and filmmakers. What is Hinduism's central narrative? As we study religions in this course, we compare religions to each other using a framework deployed by Stephen Prothero, a professor of religious studies at Boston University. He uses narrative to describe how a culture motivates people to act. Each religion, he says, proposes a narrative that people use to understand their religious engagement. To trace the narrative that lies at the heart of each religion, its central narrative, Prothero says we can ask 4 questions. What problem does the religion seek to address? What solution does the religion propose? How can people move toward this solution? Who teaches people how to do this? We start first with a description of the problem that religion seeks to address. Hinduism calls this problem samsara. Classical Hinduism proposes that after death, most people reincarnate. So people move through history without aim or direction, in a vicious cycle of life, death, and rebirth, to a life marked by struggle. The solution Hinduism proposes is called moksha, which is often translated as liberation, and sometimes as salvation. But this should not be confused with the Christian understanding of salvation as redemption from sin. Moksha offers a liberation from samsara, and in Hindu tradition, we find a number of images for moksha, such as the loving union of a person's soul to Brahman, an impersonal merging of a person's soul to the eternal essence of existence, or living in paradise with a god. Hindu people pursue moksha through one of 3 disciplines. They are sometimes called yogas, margas, or paths. In Hindu religion, there are 3 margas: karma marga, jnana marga, and bhakti marga. Each of these paths proposes distinct practices and exemplars who teach religious adherents how to pursue moksha. Hindu people generally see all 3 of these margas as equally valid. People pursue the practice that best fits with their personal disposition and stage of life. In summary, Hinduism refers to a family of religious practices with roots in Vedic religion. We find among Hindu people a broad range of practices and broad respect for each of these practices. With 1.03 billion adherents, Hinduism is the third largest religion in the world. 94% of the world's Hindu people live in India, and Hinduism is a majority religion in two countries, India and Nepal. While we find a variety of practices among Hindu people, most Hindu people respect the authority of the Vedas, share a symbol, the Sanskrit word Om, and see Varanasi as an important religious center. Hindu material culture engages our senses. Hindu devotions often involve murtis, bright colors, bells, recitations, smells, warm fires, and sweet tastes. And Hindu scripture has inspired visual arts, music, and film. Most Hindu people seek liberation or moksha from a condition called samsara, wandering on in a vicious cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Hindu practice generally involves one of three disciplines or margas, each with its own practices: karma marga, jnana marga, and bhakti marga. People follow the practice they find best fits with their disposition. Often, Hindu practitioners see the gods and heroes of Hindu scriptures as exemplars. Those who practice jnana marga also value the guidance of a guru or swami.